Right, today we are rigging a slider crank setup, often used for piston engines. We've already went ahead and grouped certain objects, give them colors, etc. And I went ahead and placed a bunch of point helpers. The red one is already animated, as you can see, just a simple rotation setup. And we'll position the point helpers so that obviously they are in the center, as you can see here with the axle and the blue part, which is linked to the main dummy as well, or main point helper, I should say. The second one is positioned in the center point of the crankshaft. And let's link that to the rotation of the axle so that that follows. Then we'll have the one which is positioned in the center of the piston head. And we have one here up top, which we'll get to later. We also have an up node. That one is needed for the LookAt controller. We'll look at that later. For now, let's focus on the setup with the point helpers. So we go to one of the side views or front view, in this case a side view, and we draw a line, turn on snap, make sure it has the right settings to pivot point. And we draw it, this time we draw it from the top to the bottom, but that's basically to show you one thing. It is important, the position of the first vertex. This one here, it shows that it's number 1, that's number 2 and number 3, but we need the one where we want to link the bone to, the one that is not doing the output, basically to the rotational shaft. So you want to make that one first, and you can do that by using the button make first. So that's a line drawn. Then next we'll do the bones. We draw from the bottom one to the middle one. You can use one or 2 bones, 3 bones. It doesn't really matter that much. I've just done 2 for this purpose, and we'll work with this setup. We give it a Spline-IK solver. We click the bottom bone, and then secondly we click the spline that we've created. Now this creates a couple of helper objects for this spline. These are a little bit big, so let's scale them down a little bit. And also the main controller for the IK setup. So that's your setup. It's not too complex. As you can see, the axle still rotates. We're going to link those to the point helpers that we've created first. These 2 will be linked to the up node because they basically won't move unless you move the up node. So let's go ahead and link those to the up node. And that's already your setup kind of done. We'll tweak it a little bit in a minute, but you can see here that it's actually already working. So basically what this does is when the bone, or when that control point with the bone is linked to the main crankshaft, it will slide over the path that we've created. And with those control nodes that you see me moving down here, you can actually control how the spline is behaving. So here we move that down. So basically what happens is that the blue cross there that you see, the controller for the IK, is moving on a purely vertical line. Here you can see something that often happens with bones, which is actually a happy accident. You don't want this normally because it will flip your whole setup. But in this case, it's a happy accident because I can show you how to solve it and get a very clean, non-rotating setup with your bones. If you didn't have that, and if the bone didn't rotate, then obviously your setup is already done. But I'm going to show you now how to fix this. Let's show it better by switching on a front fin. So you can see that the bone actually flips on certain frames, which is obviously not something that you want if you link the crankshaft to this, because the whole thing would just flip over. To solve this, very simple setup. You create an extra point helper. Let's make it a cross. There you go. And let's make that an orange color. And we'll have this one look at the blue cross, but first we'll position it to the same point where the bone is attached to, and we link it to the same point helper. So now it's rotating with the axle, and we just need to have it look at the blue cross, which is basically moving over that spline that we've created earlier. So we choose the LookAt constraint and we click that blue helper object. Play with the settings a little bit. Make sure that you choose the right up node. This is very important. You're going to need that later on. And now the cross is looking at the blue helper object. If we unhide the geometry and we link the crankshaft, let's link it first to the bone, just so you can see what happens if the setup is a bit faulty. So you can see it when the bone flips, obviously the crankshaft flips as well. Let's link it to the cross and you'll see that it has the behavior that we're looking for. It's a bit of an extra step, but yeah, it does solve the issue. You can do the same thing here, even though it doesn't appear to flip. If it does happen, or if it should happen, let's say you have another bone in your setup, 3 bones instead of 2, then you can use basically the same technique as I've shown initially. So we create an extra point helper. We place it in the middle of the cross. And we link it to the blue controller object. We want to have it look at the top helper object for the spline. And we link the piston head to that little point helper that we've just created and given the LookAt constraint. So there's your setup. The reason why we chose that up node is obviously if you want to move the whole setup around, rotate it, etc. So we're going to link the static objects, which are the white parts, to this up node, and also the main dummy that drives the crankshaft. And with that, you can move the whole setup. Yeah, there's these two point helpers there are not used. You can delete them if you want. But also you can see if you rotate the whole setup, if you have the up node set properly, then the whole thing will rotate with it and will work. These ones not needed. And there you have it.